Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to all of you. In my last lecture, we learned about the definition of physics, the categories of physics, classical physics and modern physics. Then we learned about how to solve any physical problem with the application of scientific method. Then we learned about what are the four fundamental forces in nature. And apart from that, we learned about how physics, technology and society are interconnected to each other. So, in today's lecture, we will learn about measurement. Measurement of any physical quantity is nothing but this comparison with a certain standard which is defined in the literature. Measurement is a comparison with a standard. This standard is defined by unit. And this unit is connected with a physical quantity. Now the question arises, what is a physical quantity? Anything that can be measured and has a magnitude, that is called a physical quantity. Anything that can be measured. With some magnitude. And with that magnitude is associated with a unit. That is a physical quantity. A physical quantity is always represented by a magnitude and a unit. A physical quantity PQ is always represented by a magnitude and a unit. Mass, length, time. These are the physical quantities and they can be represented and or they can be measured in terms of kg, meter, second, kilometer. Different units are there for different physical quantities. We cannot call emotion a physical quantity because we cannot measure emotion. Somebody is feeling very emotional. We cannot say how much. We cannot define that emotions in a magnitude, and that emotions don't have any unit. So emotions like human related factors, they are not physical quantity. Physical quantities are something which can be measured and it has a magnitude and it can be represented in certain unit. That is a physical quantity. Now let us move on to the next topic, fundamental quantities and derived quantities. Fundamental quantities and derived quantities. Fundamental quantities are those physical quantities which are independent of each other, means which cannot be broken down further. So basically we have three fundamental quantities: mass, length and time. and derived quantities are basically function of fundamental quantities, right? I hope it is clear to all of you. For example, let us take an example here. Force. Force can be represented as a product of mass and acceleration, right? Mass and acceleration can be written as meter per second square, and this is kg, right? So this force has been broken down as a function of mass, length, and time. So from this example, derived quantities, they are the function of mass, length, and time, which are the fundamental quantities which we have just read about. So fundamental quantities cannot be broken down further, means they are independent of each other. But derived quantities, they are related to the fundamental quantities. Now, fundamental quantities will have fundamental units, right? And derived quantities, they will have derived units. Is it clear? I hope it is clear. Now let us move on to the next topic, system of units. In physics, there are four system of units in which fundamental quantities are represented. The first one is CGS system, in which the fundamental quantities mass, length, and time. Mass is represented in terms of gram, length in centimeter, time in second, right? Then second system of unit is MKS system, meter, kilogram, and second. Length is measured in meter, mass in kg, and time in second. Third system of unit is FPS system, in which mass is represented in pounds, length in foot, and time in second. Then comes the SI system of units. SI system talks about 7 fundamental units. The 7 fundamental units are: one is mass, second is length. Sorry, these are the quantities. Mass, length, time. Fourth one is temperature. Fifth is luminous intensity. sixth is current, and seventh is amount of substance. Mass is represented in kg, length in meter, time in second, temperature in Kelvin, luminous intensity in candela, current in amps, ampere, and amount of substance in mole. So these are the seven fundamental quantities which is there in SI system, and these fundamental quantities, they have their fundamental units. Apart from these seven fundamental units, there are additional two fundamental quantities which is also being discussed in the literature. The first one is plane angle, and second is solid angle. It's a plane angle has a unit of radian, and solid angle has a unit of steradian. So this is just the theory of the units of the fundamental quantities in which they are measured. So this forms your base as to how to write any physical quantity. So you have to understand the fundamental in a very crystal and clear manner. So this much was there in the system of units. Before moving on to the next topic, I would like to tell you something about the relation between a magnitude and a unit. As we read that any physical quantity can be represented in this form of equation, magnitude multiplied by unit, right? Let us take the example of a length. Suppose we measured a length of around 10 meter, right? So this 10 meter can be represented as 10 times of 1 meter. This 1 meter is the standard, it's a unit of length, and its magnitude is 10 meter, right? Now, suppose if I want to write this meter in kilometer, how will I do? I will just apply this, and this will become kilometer. So 10 meter is equivalent of 0.01 kilometer. Now here what is to be learned about is that as your length scale is decreasing, your magnitude is increasing, right? So from here what we can decipher is that magnitude is inversely proportional to unit. As we increase the unit, we get a decreased magnitude. But as we represent that same physical quantity in the lower scale, what we see that our magnitude has increased. So this is a very important relation when you convert units from one unit to another unit. Now let us move on to the next topic, conversion of units. There is a standard way of converting one unit to another unit. I will start with an example. Suppose there is a speed of 60 km per hour. Okay, and I have to convert this into meter per second. So we know that 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meter, right? Which implies we can write this as 1 kilometer by 1000 meter equals to 1, right? So we know that anything if multiplied by 1 or divided by 1 will not change its magnitude, it will remain the same. So this concept of writing the system like the conversion 1 kilometer or 1 to equals to 1000 meter and this ratio equals to 1, this has to be used when we are converting one system of unit to another system. So how to write this? So we have 60 kilometer per hour, right? What is my conversion? I want kilometer per hour to meter per second, right? So how will I write? Let us focus on this kilometer. From this concept, if I write it at, if I divide it by 1, suppose, okay, and this will become 1000 meter by 1 kilometer, right? And this R, we know that 1 hour equals to 3600 seconds. So what I will do, I can write it as 36 second by 1 hour equals to 1. Please understand, this is very basic and it has to be noted very carefully. I can write 36 second in this way. I can write it in this way, right? What I have done, I have multiplied this denominator by 1. So I can write 1 as 3600 second by 1 hour. So this will go up. Now I can cancel it out and right. So whatever value I'll get it here, that will be in terms of meter per second. So whenever you are converting one unit to another unit, please use this concept. When you will go for higher studies, this concept will be oftenly used for the conversion purpose. Thank you. Thank you very much. In the next lecture, we will learn about the errors in measurement and we will do some questions based on those concepts. So thank you so much. Thank you.